Hello, beautiful people. This is Golden Duffy with the Live Life Golden Show, and we are on episode 13. I can't believe we have 13 episodes already. It's called Up Level to Your Worth. Today is going to be a conversation all about your worthiness, where that worthiness comes from, where the unworthiness may be coming from, and why it is keeping you from creating the life that you truly desire. Because worthiness is where it's at. And what I have seen in my life experience, working with clients, talking with people, is that unworthiness is a freaking epidemic. Like, this is the reason why people live in fear. They get stuck. They can't create. They have crappy relationships. Like, your relationships are all based on how worthy you feel. And the boundaries that you set up in those relationships is what tells the rest of the world what you will tolerate, how you truly love yourself, and if you feel worthy of great love, of great abundance, of great creation power. So let's dive in. I'm so excited about this conversation. I love this conversation because, I came from a place where I didn't feel worthy. I had very low self-esteem. I had very low self-confidence. Growing up, I had a lot of bullies in my life. I had a lot of reflection of that unworthiness. And so it was shown to me time and time again that I was unworthy. And because of that, I created a lot of expansion, a lot of growth, a lot of desire. And that's what your unworthiness is teaching you. It's what it's showing you. And once you get on the path to really revealing what that unworthiness is about, you're going to be able to shift it. You're going to be able to heal it, and you're going to stand in your power like you never have before. So that's why I get excited about it, because it is the conversation that creates change that is it's life transforming. Because if you don't feel worthy of abundance, if you don't feel worthy of greatness, if you don't feel worthy of your true power, you won't be able to move energy. You'll just keep yourself stuck. Remember, let's just get into a little quantum physics here, a little bit of the science that I love. When you are conducting energies, you have a thought and it comes out as a wave, right? It comes out as a wave of energy. You have these thoughts, and then a thought always evokes a feeling, right? Whether it's an addiction to an emotion or what, it evokes a feeling. Once you have that feeling, that wave starts to get a little bit stronger, a little bit faster. And once it connects with your belief system, it starts to create. It breaks down into particles and becomes physical matter. So that's how the creation process works. So if you have thoughts and feelings and beliefs that you are not worthy, then you won't connect with things that are abundant of nature. I had a situation recently where I was in a body fat competition, and there was the first competition. There was a woman who won, and she wasn't going to weigh in, but she did weigh in, and she did win. Her friend talked her into weighing in, and because she weighed in, she won. She didn't think she won. She thought she lost. She wasn't going to weigh in, and her friend was like, "Are you crazy? You have to weigh in, at least see." Well, this friend who talked her into weighing in, this time, this second go around, she didn't weigh in, and she could have won. And I'm like, that is connection with abundance. Because if she was connected with abundance and she weighed in, she probably would have won money. I feel like she would have won. Like, looking at her appearance and seeing, I feel like she would have kicked my ass, and I came in second. So if we're not lined up with abundance, there's certain opportunities, there's certain situations that we won't create from. We won't actually create that abundance and that connection with money. It was like $400. The winner was like 1,200. She could have been the winner. I don't even know. She doesn't even know. Now we don't even know. So I think it's really important to recognize that there are all these pathways to abundance, and we could be blocking them because we don't feel worthy to receive, right? We don't feel open to receive. We don't have that energetic field because of the way we truly feel inside. So let's blow the lid off this, because this is a big one. Okay. So the first thing that I want to address here, and in taking this up level, is, where does unworthiness come from? That's a really important conversation, because if you don't connect with the experiences that created this unworthiness in you, you may consider it as truth. Okay. If you don't connect with the falsehoods and the false belief systems that were handed to you by circumstances, by experiences, by other people in your life, you won't connect with the untruth of it all. You won't be able to release the veil, release the veil. There's a veil over it right now. Okay. It feels like truth. I've been working with people on these transformation calls, and I'm going to tell you guys, good Lord, they are transformation calls. And we're blowing the lid off of false belief systems and untruth. So in this one call, where these people feel called to see what I'm doing because they're in alignment with abundance. They're in alignment with the up level. They're in alignment with the creation process. They're feeling called. Their heart is calling them to this. In that one call, we were able to uncover these false belief systems that were creating havoc in their lives. How cool is that? So when it comes to unworthiness, where did it come from? So when it comes from the basis of what unworthiness is and where it comes from is not knowing who you truly are. And many of us, a lot of us, most of us maybe, do not know who we truly are. And even people who you see who are super successful in the world's eyes don't really know who they are. They're creating through a thing called imposter syndrome, where they're putting out this thing to the world. Maybe they had an idea, maybe it caught fire, maybe, you look at people like, Jeff Bezos, and I don't know why these guys are coming up right now. I just watched a video about Jeff Bezos going to space, and it was hilarious. It was done by Russell Brand, who I love, and the other guy, Bill Gates. These guys are going through divorce now. It's like we've looked at them and we're like, oh my God, they're so successful and they've nailed it and they're killing it. And it's like, are they? Are they though? I don't know. So in the world's eyes of success, it's very possible that these people are putting out a thing to the world that looks really good, that's received and accepted by the world and creates great finances for them. But what's the rest of their life look like? So there's a lot of that imposter syndrome going on where we're putting ourselves out there, we're pushing it, we're looking good, we look like we're confident, but underneath we're not feeling so great. Okay. So you can still create that way, but it's not the most joyful way to creation. So your unworthiness comes from that those seeds that have been planted. We came into this life basically with, if we didn't have parents that were super inspirational and, cheering us on the whole time, we come into this life already in lack, right? We come in with sins, right? We've got sins, right? Like that's what our religion tells us is we have sins and we have to be forgiven and we must repent and all of that stuff. So like all of that unworthiness stuff is generational. I mean, generations and generations of people believing that they're not good enough. All those seeds that have been planted by your teachers, your peers, your parents, anyone that had any influence over you. It could have been a passing stranger that said something at a particular time that threw you off. And those are things like you're not good enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not skinny enough. Hey, did you ever get passed up for a part in a school play? Huh? I did. In fact, I got passed up for the part in the school play, and the girl who got it, there was rumors that her dad told the music teacher she had to get it. And I got a little part in that play because I was an understudy and the girl was sick. So I got to play this part. I nailed it. I was a little mouse. I was swinging my tail. I was doing all this fun stuff. I was really in my element of acting. This was like 5th grade, I think. And then the girl miraculously recovered, and she was the one who got to play it for the parents that night. Talk about disappointment. Talk about feeling kicked to the side. I mean, really, people, that was rough. And then in 7th grade, let's go down memory lane here, I was passed up for the cheerleading team. I know, right? Not good enough. Can't do a cartwheel straight enough. I don't know what it was. I didn't have it. I didn't have confidence. I didn't feel myself. I didn't make it. So there's those things that happened if you look over the course of your life, all of those things. Have you ever quit anything? Have you ever quit anything? I pretty much quit everything I started when I was young, for real. Ballet, I quit when I was 8. Actually, my mom made me quit because for the 8th time I had a headache and I didn't want to go. And I'll tell you why I didn't want to go, because I remember this very specifically. It was the dance across the room where we had to do this dance across the room. And the teacher, I remember, was putting me down about it. Like she was, constructive criticism, right? But I'm 8 years old and I felt like a fool. Like I was embarrassed. So I didn't want to go back. So my mom let me quit that. That was a regret I carried for a very long time because I always wanted to be a ballerina. Who doesn't want to be a ballerina? So like last year, a year before, right before COVID, I took a ballet class and I rocked that shit. It was really cool. It was really fun. I actually have a tutu. I have ballet shoes and I'm a ballerina now. So got a lot more confidence. And you know what else I realized? I realized, because I've taken other dance classes too, that when your self-confidence is shaky, and you give in to anxiety, your wisdom shuts down. So you can't possibly connect your head to your feet because you are living in the survival center. So you're in the top of your body, which is like in your mind. So your mind can't even connect to your body because you are in this like fight or flight thing. So that's a good tip if you're taking any sort of classes where you need to connect your head to your feet. Learning to roller skate, but I got to get out of my fear and actually get on my skates to do it. I've taken a few lessons. I'm getting better. I haven't been on my skates in about 4 months, but it's still there. They're in my car, so it's going to happen. Okay. How many times have you heard that you weren't smart enough, that you weren't skinny enough, or thought those things? Had those feelings because of an experience that happened. And if it's cyclical, like if you've noticed a cycle of it in your life, it's because of one particular situation that happened, created a belief system, and then you keep believing it over and over again because the world keeps showing you evidence because that's your belief. Remember, it's the wave. So the wave is breaking down into particles and becoming matter and showing you, yes, you are not good enough. You are not skinny enough. You are not talented enough, whatever it was. So there you go. There's your unworthiness thing. And friendships ending. Have you ever had friendships end? Abandonment, right? Abandonment from friendships that ended, or friends that ganged up on you, or feeling like you weren't liked. Those situations when we're younger, they create such a strong foundation and bond to not being good enough that our friendships moving forward will be filled with lack and trying to get people to love us. So not super healthy, not great boundaries when you're coming from that. So friendships ending can be a big one to create traumas that will create experiences that will be less than joyful. Yeah, less than joyful. Bullying. Have you ever been bullied? Oh, we could go on for hours about the bullying in my life. I was bullied by a lot of people. And the biggest bully in my life, I won't even say who it was because it's not even necessary anymore. But they lived with me and bullied me on a daily basis, physically, emotionally. Lots of stuff, death threats. I mean, crazy ass shit that happened to me when I was younger that I have healed from, that I no longer connect with those traumas. I no longer connect with that type of hate or that type of resentment for me. It's taken me a very long time to do that. A lot of healing work I've had to do. But what I've realized recently, so take a little sip of water here. What I've realized recently, believing that I had all of these layers, because I do so much work with people and we connect with the layers and we're digging and we're digging and we're digging and they're coming up, and is that the layering process isn't necessary. There's a shortcut. And this is not spiritual bypassing, but there's a shortcut that you can do to connect with those traumas, to connect with that energy and release it more quickly, and then get rid of the addiction to the emotions. So that's where the mind training stuff comes in that I teach. When you do the mind training stuff, this stuff doesn't have a hold on you any longer. You get higher perspective. You move away from it. It's not the truth of who you are. We blow and release those false belief systems that are keeping you stuck in an unworthy state. If you've ever had anyone say anything about your your physical appearance. You ever had anyone say anything about your physical appearance? When I was growing up, there was a lot of that. When you have people in your life and you're going through adolescence where you're in those stages where you're very awkward and maybe things are growing at different paces and maybe you're not developing like the other girls and maybe you're really thin. I mean, there's so many different situations that I was in that made me just ashamed of my body. Ashamed of my body. Even to this day, I go to the gym and see these girls and I don't know what this is. I'm still working on this because I can wear a bikini at the beach like no problem. I can rock a bikini like no problem, right? At the gym, I'm still having issues just wearing a sports bra and pants. Like the way these girls, they just rock it, right? I'm still uncomfortable with that. There's something still in me. So I'm still working on that and being able to be proud of who I am. And I'm telling you, I'm in really good shape right now. Like there's nothing to be ashamed of. So this is something within me that is a connection to something that I'm working on letting go and releasing, to be proud of, to not feel so exposed. Like I feel too exposed, but at the beach I don't. So I'm working on it. I'll let you know what that's about. But if you've ever had anyone say anything, I had a lot of issues with people of influence telling me that I was too thin, that I disgusted them, that I needed to cover up my body, different things like that. And then one thing I was thinking about recently, this is so ridiculous, but I had gone to, and it came up because I was thinking about Father's Days. And Father's Day picnics were always with my cousins, like my mom's family. And we would go to my cousin's house and, it was summer. So we had on our shorts and our sandals. And one particular time I had these really long toes when I was growing up, like my feet took a little while to grow into my toes, I guess. I don't know. And somebody made a comment about how long my toes were and made like a big deal about it in front of a lot of people. And I just remember feeling so much embarrassment and so much shame to the point where I hated my feet for so long and I would not show them off. And now, okay, I love my feet. I really do. And it's funny because I get compliments at the pedicure when I get pedicures all the time that I have beautiful feet. And I do. And I'm like, what the hell was that? Did I have ugly feet before and I don't now? But it's just so interesting that when someone plants a seed, and you start watering it from that self-critical place, from that mind, that monkey mind that we've allowed to have way too much power over us. When we start doing that, it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger to the point where like I wouldn't even wear sandals for years. And it's just, and now I look at it and I'm like, God, like, did I just create something different because of what I believed? I don't remember when that shifted, and it's absolutely ridiculous to even talk about, but it's just to give you an indication of how crazy this can get when somebody says something and it hits us like in a trauma spot. And we grab onto it and we create from it, and then we create lots of evidence about it. It's crazy. It's crazy, that process. So bullying, religion, quitting things. Have you ever quit things? Being passed up for things, abandonment issues, family, friends, boyfriends, girlfriends, all of those experiences that you've had over time that have ended on a bad note, maybe without your decision, right? Maybe they were just taken away from you, will create those feelings that will perpetuate a cycle in your life that doesn't allow you to connect with your true worthiness. When I was growing up, I had this man who was living in an apartment above our garage. His name was Uncle Bill, and I loved Uncle Bill. I can't even explain it. He actually came back into my life in my 20s. But as a 5-year-old, I was infatuated with this man. I just thought he was, you know what it was? He had a lot of love in his heart. He had a lot of love in his heart. He was a deeply spiritual man, and he had a lot of love. And I think I felt that unconditional love that I didn't feel from other people. So he just beamed it on me. He absolutely beamed it on me as a 5-year-old child. So I fell in love with him and like worshiped him. Like every time I saw him, I just remember this feeling, this really good feeling. And something happened with him and my parents, and there was a falling out, and he just like disappeared. And he never said goodbye to me. Well, that created abandonment for me. I felt abandoned by that. And that cycle repeated itself over and over and over again throughout my life experience. I'm very lucky, very blessed that I didn't create that with my husband because I met him very young. In fact, I believe he was brought to heal that within me. I still created it with other people, but for that experience, that significant other soulmate experience, there's been a lot of healing work that we have done together that has been absolutely because of the way that he loves me and the way that I love him. So I've been lucky in that respect. So you won't create it, exponentially throughout your life, but there will be indications of it. It may not be your whole life, but it may be certain situations that bring this up for you, that trigger this in you, that help you to keep creating it and make you feel powerless. That's what the whole unworthiness thing is about. I'm not powerful. I don't have any power over anything. Okay. So unworthiness this is what it leads to. Okay. A fear of being seen. We've got a lot of that going on. A fear of being seen. We have a lot of that going on and we don't, right? We have a lot of people that are like not afraid to be seen and are being seen too much, right? Feels like a very narcissistic society right now with all these videos and everybody going on and on about themselves. I don't know. It's crazy. But there is such a thing as fear of being seen. And I think it's actually probably more in my age range than the younger age range because they are so used to being on videos and things. But for us, people in the age range from like 30 to 60, I'll say, put me in there somewhere. There is a fear of being seen. There's a fear of putting yourself out there. There's a fear of asking for what you want. An inability to give and receive love. Do you have an inability to give and receive love? Do you have an inability to receive, like to receive anything? Do you always feel like you have to pay other people back because you don't want to be a burden to anyone? You don't want to be a burden. Okay. Oh my God. Okay. When you do things to overcompensate, like my husband and I realized a little while ago that what we were doing with our kids is we were overcompensating for the love that we didn't receive, the things that we didn't receive. Parents do this all the time, right? I want to give my kids what I didn't have. But then we give from a very lackful place and it doesn't end well. It just doesn't. It's just not a good energetic exchange. So then you end up resentful. Feelings of powerlessness and creating things to prove that. Are you doing that? Are you feeling powerless? Is the world reflecting to you how powerless you feel? Like, look at the different areas of your life and see where the powerlessness resides. Is it with a significant other? Is it with an ex? Is it with a parent? Is it with an in-law? Like, where do you feel powerless? Because they are inviting you. They are giving you an opportunity to up-level. They're giving you an opportunity to heal this. That's what it's all about. Do you know the base word of tormentor is mentor? I know. Son of a bitch. Seriously, that's the basis of anyone that's come into your life that's being a rascal, that's driving you crazy. They are being put there in a position. This is your movie. You gave everybody their parts. Okay. And because you gave everybody their parts, they have to play their part in order to help you expand and grow. There it is. So what do we do about it? What do we do about the unworthiness that we feel? This is like my life mission, you guys. My life mission right now is to ignite that fire you have within, to ignite the power that you have within, and to expose all of those untruths so that we can get down to the nitty gritty. So we can get down to the true worthiness of who you are, the power that you have to create, and you can connect with the joy that I know so well, that I live every single day. That is my mission. So in that, I'm just going to give you a quick little blurb about my 6-week challenge, Ignite the Fire Within challenge. So today is June, I have no idea, June 21st, 2021. So if you're listening to this a couple weeks from now, sorry. I am creating a group of people. They're going to be my founding members that are going to help me create this program that is going to lead me to creating my own app, which is super exciting. And the app is going to be an awesome place for people to come in, connect every day, and get an up level. You're going to be able to get an activation and an up level, and you're going to be able to tune into a higher frequency than you could if you just left it to the way things have been. What's the definition of insanity? It's doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So this is a 6-week challenge. I have put out that you can do a transformation call with me, which have been extremely transformative. And there's an application process because I'm only looking for particular people. I'm looking for people who are ready for drastic change, radical change. And those radical changes, very interestingly, can be just from little tiny shifts. And they usually are from little tiny shifts in your thinking, little tiny shifts in your belief systems, and big healing. Big healing though, because the release work is where it's at. That's where it's at. You know, I've done coaching with people for a long time and I stepped away from it. I did it for about 5 years and I made great money. I really did. And I had great clients. I loved my clients, most of them. And the thing that I realized was, I don't want to sit in my house all day and talk on the phone because I'm a very social being and I love to be out and about. And I didn't sign up for this life to just sit here and, you know, basically listen to people's problems. Although we did shift and do a lot of great work and do a lot of release work, it just became heavy. It became heavy lifting for me. So my goal and mission in life is to have global reach, to be able to reach as many people as I can with this message and this transformation and activation of becoming a master manifester, of creating from the power that you have to expand and grow and become more. And to have the realizations that this contrast, the challenge, the problems, as we like to call them in life, are truly just opportunities for you to create the up level. So we get excited about it. We get a little like, oh boy, I can't wait to see what's going to happen from this. And when you can take your situations, your less than optimal situations, and have that energy around them, boom, you don't live in angst for very long. It's very powerful shifting. I love it. So it's a 6 weeks challenge. And if you want the details to it, go to my YouTube channel or Spotify. It's called Ignite the Fire Within Challenge. I don't want to go over it today in my show in case there's people that are interested. And I already just did a whole blah, blah, blah about it on this other video. But I will say the people that come on board to do this with me will have the most transformative results because of the activation of energies and the releasing of energies. And then to set new intentions and new belief systems around those new truths and connect with them in a way that you never have before is what creates the real transformation. It's not just like a program you're going to do and you're going to forget you did it and it was great. This is transformative, like seriously. You know, I'm like living freaking proof of this stuff. I don't know if you believe me, but I seriously am. Okay, so what do we do about unworthiness? The very first process in overcoming unworthiness truly is to meditate. And if you're having trouble quieting your mind, it's okay because it's a practice. And I've gone over this like a million, zillion, trillion times. In fact, I decided the other day that I'm doing a video on intro to meditation, even if you've been meditating for a long time, because there's tricks to the trade and there's ways to interrupt thought patterns where it will put you in the depth. It'll put you in the bliss. It'll put you in that blank slate. And it's really valuable when you are in situations where there's people who are flipping out, really valuable when you can't sleep in the middle of the night, and really valuable when you're looking to create, because the creation process begins with meditation and zero state awareness. That's where everything is created from. So when you clean the slate, you're no longer creating from past worries, judgments, experiences, traumas. You're creating from this moment right here, right now, where you can feel joy, appreciation, and love, which is that higher frequency that is going to help you to create some really cool shit. Yeah. So meditation is the number one. The number two is deciding who you want to be. Who do I want to be? Who do I want to be in this life? What do I keep telling myself that I want to do that I'm not doing? If you're doing a lot of that, please connect with me for a transformation call because we need to get you moving. Like, we need to get moving. There has been, over a year and a half of us not moving. It's time to move, people. It's time to move. It's time to create. This is the most intense time to be creating, as far as like planets, as far as like the Schumann resonance, which is basically like the energy of the earth plane, as far as the manifestation abilities that we have, because so many people have been low level. They've been living in a lot of fear. So people aren't reaching for their dreams right now, right? They're just like in survival mode. They're hiding in their houses. This is the time to create. So just know that it's time. So decide who you want to be. Once you decide who you want to be, make a list of what that person does. Write it freaking down. Write down what that person does on a daily basis to connect with that activation of frequency. Do they get up and feel like crap? Do they get up and moan and complain about their day? Do they get up not so much and hit the snooze button 10 times? No, these people are excited to get out of bed. They're excited to go after their dreams. They're excited to create. And so if you're that person, if that's the person you want to be, you have to connect with those activities. What does that person do? Find somebody that's doing what you want to do and see what they do, and then follow that, right? I had a guy who said, my husband said last night, it's Tony Robbins, success leaves clues, right? It's not, we don't need to go back to the drawing board and figure this shit out. There's so much example for us. There's so many frequencies for us to tune into right now that are of a higher nature than what we have been living. Then why wouldn't we tune into them? Why wouldn't we create from them? Right? Going within and healing your wounds and asking for the energies to leave. So this is something that I do with my clients. You can do it on your own. I've done it with energy healers a lot in my life. I still feel like it's a little necessary for myself even. I do. I feel like, there's times when I get heavy and I have all of the processes and I know how to do it and it's all good, but sometimes we just need outside perspective, and we need to have that space to create and release. And sometimes there's wonderful people in our life that will do that with us. So I recommend you work with someone. If you don't want to work with someone because you have a very private and personal situation and you don't want to be vulnerable, cut it out. Hey, vulnerability is strength. It really is. And connecting with people and working with people that you trust and you love can be very valuable. If you don't want to work with someone, then it's just going within, it's digging for yourself. It's journaling. It's asking the important questions. Where is this in me? Why do I have this in me? Where does this come from? All these things are going to download to you. You're going to get the answers, and then asking for the release work, asking for this stuff to be released. This will be addressed in my program. We will be doing a lot of release work and we'll be doing a lot of activation. Cool stuff. Start initiating your power by listening within instead of always going to the peanut gallery, we call it, always going without, like, I need somebody's opinion on this. I'm not sure. And I am totally guilty of this. This is why I've but this is why I've worked and tried working with people for a long time. Like, I wanted partners because I love co-creating. I really do. I think that's why this group coaching thing is getting me so excited, because I love co-creating. But I've always had a partner to bounce things off of because I was unsure. And now I'm just listening within. What do I want to create? What do I want to do today? Who do I want to affect? How do I want to affect? It's such a cool thing to ask yourself every day and to create from that energy of who do I want to be. It creates dreams realized. That's what it does. So going within and asking yourself, listening to that power, listening to that energy you have within. So when you're trying to make a decision about something or somebody asks you if you can do something, the best way that you can connect with that true worthiness of who you are is to say, let me think about it. Let me get back to you. Because if we are an automatic yes all the time, we're not asking within. We're coming from a place of automatic yeses, of this service, of this, this, usually it's lackful energy. I want them to like me, so I'm going to say yes. I want them to like me. I want them to be okay with me. So I'm going to say yes to whatever they need. That's unworthiness, super unworthiness. And I can't stress this enough, is to check in before you answer people on doing things. This will save you so much energy, so much energy. I don't know if I shared this story, but I'll share it briefly because I don't know that I've shared it, because it was the biggest way that I saw that I did something that I didn't want to do, and it just turned out to be a total waste of my time. So I was supposed to do this show. I was doing a TV show. Yeah, TV show. Look at me, in Connecticut. It was this little community TV show. And I was really good friends with the guy who runs it. And he loved me and he wanted me to be an interviewer, a guest host. And so I had invited this woman to come on. She did like nutritional stuff. And I was getting ready to leave for California. So I had a lot going on. And I really didn't want to do it. I just really didn't want to do it. And I kept feeling like I didn't want to do it, but I kept feeling the obligation of doing it, that I had made these promises. I live in integrity. So if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And I'm still glad that I did it, because it gave me such a good indication of, going within and asking if I really wanted to do things. And I live from that now. I really do. So we get to the day. It's raining. It's freaking raining. And my hair, is a mess. It's a mess. And I hate when my hair is a mess. My hair does not like any kind of moisture whatsoever. It's like I'm like a drowned rat. So my hair looks like crap. I'm going into this interview and it ends up being fine. Like, I thought the interview was great. I, gave it my all and she gave it her all. And I thought it was really wonderful. Well, come to find out, she didn't like the interview. And she ended up asking this man if he would interview her instead. And they trashed my interview. So I took about maybe 4 hours out of my day, drove in the rain 40 minutes, and did this interview that I didn't want to do. And it was very clear to me that I should have said no. So there you go. So it's important for you when people are asking you things. And I know that we don't always have the time to say, let me meditate on that. I know we don't always have the time. But if you can just say, you know what, give me 5 minutes. I got to go to the bathroom. Let me just give me 5 minutes. Go to the bathroom, take a couple deep breaths, see how it feels. If it's not a hell yes, it's a no. And that's why on my program, I'm like, hell yes, say hell yes. Because if you're saying hell yes, you must really, really mean it. Right? Don't say hell yes if you don't mean it. I do that with clothing when I go try on clothes. If it's not a hell yes, it's a no. Because why are we buying shit we don't really like? Just to buy stuff? I've been there. I've done that. It's kind of stupid. So if it's not a hell yes, it's a no. So worthiness activation is about unveiling the truth of who you are. Boom. Let me say it again. Worthiness activation is about unveiling the truth of who you are. And in the truth of who you are, there is so much self-love. There is so much fulfillment. There's so much joy. And, there's a lot of boundaries. Let's talk about boundaries. There's a lot of boundaries in self-love, in, honoring yourself, honoring who you are and what you want to do in this life. If you're not doing what you want to do and you're letting everyone else suck all your energy, you're not living in joy and you're not doing anybody any favors. I didn't do that lady any favors. In fact, what I found out is that she felt like she looked old next to me. Sorry, she didn't feel good next to me. So I wasn't doing her any favors by doing that interview. So what the hell was I doing? Wasting my time. So in order for you to get that full activation of worthiness, you have to start asking those questions. Do I value myself? Do I honor myself? Am I doing the things that tell myself that I'm worth it? Are you? Right? Are you always like spending money on everybody else but not yourself? Are you always taking care of everybody else but not yourself? Are you drained and resentful? I used to offer all the time to my kids. I would offer because I would think to myself, oh, what would I have wanted my mom to do? So I would over offer. Over offer. Are you an over offerer? Do you offer shit to people and they're not even asking? Oh, Lord, why are we doing this? Okay, if you're doing it from your heart, great. But if you're just doing it because you're looking for love, you're looking for acceptance, that's the kind of shit that you got to stop doing, because that's the kind of shit that's telling you you're not worthy, that you need to get that love and acceptance from someone else because you're not connecting with it inside. Boom. A lot of booms in this one. Good Lord. I'm sorry I always do this Southern accent. I hope it's not annoying. I don't know what it is. I really don't. We started this whole thing when we were on vacation and it caught fire. It caught fire. And it was because of my granddaughter. And I don't know how you feel about swearing, and I don't really care, but she had something happened in the car and she said to my daughter, she goes, "What the hell?" And so we started this whole what the hell thing on vacation, and it caught fire with every single person that we were hanging out with, which just cracks me up. And now it's like a saying, and we spell it Hael. So it's not really a swear. So what the hell? I mean, it works for so many things. It's just silly. Maybe I was Southern in another life. I don't know. Remembering who you are and the worthiness of who you truly are means you release the old thoughts, the old beliefs, the old habits that have caused you to feel powerless. They have caused you to let your power bypass you. They have caused you to sit on the sidelines, to hide in the shadows, to be a wallflower, to not speak your truth. All of those things have been created because you have unworthiness issues underneath. So this is really important for you to connect with, really important for you to heal from. So, your guidelines for really stepping into this worthiness position, and if you're listening to this show, you've already had an activation. You've already had an activation because that is my intention for you. So every show, I put an intention in the show and I transfer that energy through my voice, through my energetic connection, through my power, through my confidence, through the way I feel about you. And I don't even have to know you. There's a global reach here. There's a connection that we have through our divine connection that causes this energy to come through me into you. So if you've listened to this, you've already been activated. It's like, beam me up, Scotty. Beam me up, Goldyn. We're already beamed up. The guidelines are meditation. That's the first thing. First and foremost, people, if you're not meditating, if you're not taking 10 to 20 minutes a day of quieting your mind, I'm not going to say you can't be helped, but I'm going to say you're not helping yourself. The time is now. The time is now to start the practice. And you guys know I have resources out there. The M21 Revolution is a great place. That's a Facebook group that I've run for years that has tons of guided meditation. It has files that tells you how to meditate and can get you started on a really awesome meditation practice. The next is healthy habits. Like, take a look at your habits. Take a look at the way you feed yourself. Take a look at the way you move your body or the way you treat your body. I have had, I exercise. I'm probably an addict at this point. Sometimes I think it goes into the realm of I just love it. Like, I love the download of endorphins. I love feeling strong. I love feeling my body. And sometimes I get disconnected from that, mind body connection. And then I have to remind myself how much I love myself. And then I get back into my stretching and the things that makes my body feel really good. In fact, today, and I'll do a little promo for them because it was awesome. And I don't know the lady's name. I'll try to put it in the show notes if I remember. And if you're really interested, you can always message me. It was called Oh, it's the Daily Om. And it's cool because they do like a what do you want to pay for this kind of thing. And it was a like a pelvis strengthening program. And it's just like 10 minutes a day. And it's these amazing stretches. And I've been having problems with my pelvis going out. And I only have problems when I ignore my stretching, which I have for the last 2 weeks. But it does happen from time to time where this happens to me, and it's so painful, and I have to walk around in pain all day, and I'm having trouble getting up, and it happens a lot from sitting. In fact, I think this time, because I went back to the gym this week and I was sore, not exercising. And then on Saturday, I did a lot of work on the computer because I've been really busy doing this program. And I got a new situation here. I'm going to show you guys in a little while. I mean, on Spotify, you can't see it, but if you want to see it on YouTube, waiting for one more thing, and I'll show you my little studio setup. And I was sitting in my new desk chair, and I had my foot up on the dresser, and I was really engrossed in work and the stuff that I'm doing, and freaking whacked my back out. Yeah, so I threw my back out sitting. That's a meme. That's a meme, people. Like, I wasn't even sneezing. I was just sitting, and I whacked my back out. So I've been in pain the last day, threw up that prayer, threw up that manifestation. Please let me figure this out. Because I go to a massage therapist and we haven't nailed it. We haven't figured it out. She helps me and I heal, but it's like, why does this keep happening? Like, that's my thing all the time. It's like, I don't like cycles. I don't like cycling things or creating pain over and over again. So this came, on a prayer. I manifested this program that already has made me feel better. Like, I did it once. I did 2 days today because I was like, I got to hit this hard, and I already feel better. So the solutions are out there. We just got to get out of the problem. Meditation, healthy habits. So look over your habits. What are you eating? How are you sleeping? Who are you sleeping with? I didn't mean to flick you off, but my Spotify people can't see that I just flicked off the camera. Who are you sleeping with? Right? I had this guy once, and I did a little session with him, and he was like, oh, I really want to be in a relationship, but he didn't want to stop sleeping with all these people. And I'm like, dude, like, you're telling the universe a different story. You have totally split energy. If you want to be with one person, you got to stop sleeping with all those people. So who are you sleeping with? That's a personal question. I don't want an answer on that. Do you have healthy relationships? What are your relationships like? Are you creating boundaries for yourself? Are you depleting your energy by giving too much? Are you saying yes when you want to say no? What do your relationships look like? And if you have little kids, good Lord, I know you're tapped freaking out because they're little energy suckers. I know it because I've got a 3-year-old grandbaby. I don't even spend every day with her all day. So I get it. I mean, I was a mom of 4 children. I had teenagers and toddlers. So I remember what that's like, but that's why it's even more important for you to tell yourself that you are worthy by your activities, by getting up early to meditate, by telling your husband you got to go to the gym or you got to do some sort of exercise. You got to take a break from these children. You got to take a break from the children, because if you don't take a break from the children, and I'm not saying you're going to kill your kids, but I used to look at women like that and go, I understand how that happens. That's terrible. But seriously, they can drive you insane. I used to tell my husband, the Dalai Lama, he's all cool and everything, and he's all chill because he doesn't have kids. He doesn't have kids driving him nuts all day long. And I have tips. For you in Quantum Speak for Parents. You can order it on Amazon. There's a lot of tips on how to align yourself with peace and love and joy so that you can let that bleed out through your whole home. Because we really have. We don't fight in our home anymore. We don't have screaming matches. And we did. We totally did. So we've cleaned that up. So I know where you're at. I know where you're coming from. I know I've been in that position as a mom where you're screaming at your kids and you're thinking to yourself, I don't even want to be doing this. Like, this isn't who I am. This was my mom, or this is what I grew up with. And I want to break this generational cycle. And it's completely possible, but you got to heal yourself. That's what these little critters are for. Little rascals. Those little rascals were brought to you to heal you. And it's time. It's freaking time, because once they get to be teenagers, good Lord, if you haven't healed by then, you're going to be called to the plate, sister or mister. Because they can drive their dads crazy too. All of the things that are going on in your life, everything that's happening around you, is a reflection of what you have going within. And if you don't go within and work on those things, you will keep the cycles going. over and over and over again, you will keep creating the same bullshit, right? Definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, and expecting different results. Recently putting out this program, I had to walk through a lot of fears. I am not a salesperson. I mean, I sell shit all the time, right? But I don't get paid for it. I've been in network marketing. I was in network marketing for 7 years. So I sold stuff for sure. I sold myself. I sold my program. My husband and I sold ourselves. Like, we had people that signed up because we were so excited. They had no idea what they bought. And it was like $400, seriously. So I'm good at that for sure. But I have gone through some times with this spiritual evolution where I've had to pull away from the exchange of money because I wanted to clean up my energy about it, but also I wanted to figure out how I could do this, how I could be a teacher, how I could share, how I could bring other people on board this happy-go-lucky train. I wanted to figure that out before I stepped back into any kind of exchange of finances. The thing about exchanging of finances, and I've just, actually purchased some programs myself, did some things that I've never done before to elevate my potential and to create things that I have no freaking clue how to create. So we need people to help us to do that. I realized that we only factor in the loss. We only factor in what we're going to lose, right? We don't factor in the gains. We don't factor in the amount of abundance and freedom we can create from showing the universe, from activating in the universe our worthiness, our true worthiness, saying we are worth this. We are worth this expansion and growth, and the potential we have to create abundance is there. It's like, it's a no-brainer. So when you only factor in your loss, you can't factor in what you will gain. And when you do that, you keep yourself stuck. You keep yourself in the same place. And the other thing I want to say about money is, money is an energy. And there's been many times in my life where I've constricted the flow of money because I didn't feel abundant, because I didn't feel worthy. And this is the time for you to step fully into that abundance by trusting, believing, and knowing that you are a creator at your very core being. And that being a creator means you can create anything. You can create the energy of anything. And if you haven't been so good at that up until now, that's cool, because that means you have very strong desire to what is about to manifest. And the fact that you have very strong desire, and then you have me with you to show you this way, is like, it's a win, baby. It's a win. So I'm excited to create with all of you. I keep my podcast going because I just love talking. And I finally got people to listen to me. Years of being a want teacher. Yeah, teacher to my kids. Actually, most of my kids listen to my podcast, so I can slip some mom stuff in there. Clean your room. I can do some subliminals. Actually, I never tell my kids to clean their rooms anymore. I let that shit go. That was not serving me. Just a lot of times we've got to let go of this obsessive need to control people and to be in this position, because when we are trying to control, we are actually coming from powerlessness. Oh, I know that one hurt. When we are trying to control, we are actually feeling powerless, and we need to control others to feel our power. That's bullying. That's bullying. That's what bullies do. They rely on other people's weakness to feel their strength. And when you go within and you activate that strength and worthiness within you, you don't need to do that anymore. You can let people be who they are. You can let people do what they do. Do what you do. I'll do me. You do you. It's such a beautiful way to live, because then we're not hyper concerned about everybody else and what everybody else is doing. And we can just be free to be us and to live in our joy. And how cool is that? Pretty freaking cool. All right, so I've got a couple of minutes left. I would love to just do a little activation of energy so you guys can feel what that feels like. So we're just going to ramp up some worthiness. So just close your eyes with me. And take a long, slow, deep breath. And when you blow out, just release all of this tension. And when you breathe in, just breathe in the light. And when you breathe out, breathe all those energies that no longer serve. Breathe in and breathe out. And for a minute, I just want you to go within your heart. And I want you to feel this beautiful light coming into your heart. I'm just feeling a huge download of energy for you. And just feel this beautiful light, and it's twinkling all around you. It's twinkling all within you. It's not just in your heart. It's actually in every organ, every cell, every structure of your DNA. And just feel this light. It's flipping the switch for you. So anytime you have pain or illness, the switch has been flipped, and the switch has been flipped to darkness. So we're going to We're going to flip the switch, flip the switch. And I want you to just go to any part of your body that you've had pain or illness. So I want you to go into that part of your body, and I want you to just turn on the lights. Yeah. Turn on the lights in every part of your body that feels pain or stuckness or energies that don't serve you. So if it's in your heart, if you're suffering from some emotional stuff, just go in your heart. Yeah. And just put some light in there. Yeah. When you turn the light on, all the darkness goes away. So we don't necessarily have to release anything. We just have to flip the switch. So put that light on, put it inside your head. Flip that switch inside your head. Yeah. Let's light up the neural pathways of love, of true worthiness, connecting to your divine connection. Flip the switch of that angelic army. Ooh, yeah. Just giving you the confidence, the knowing of who you are, knowing that you have this army of non-physical that is ready and waiting for your invitation. And then flip that switch inside of your abdomen. Yeah, let's just flood the abdomen with lots of power. This is your power center. So just feel the light of that worthiness in your power center. Confidence, self-esteem, love, joy, an unconditional stream of love. I got chills. That divine love that is who you are. That is who you are connected to. That is who I am here to remember you about. Remember you about. I love it. I'm here to remind you that you are truly worthy. And then lighting up underneath the belly button, we just activate your creation center. Balance out your emotional field. So let's shift that. Let's flip the switch on that. So if you have felt heavier energies, denser energies, or lower emotions, let's just balance that with some joy, some appreciation and love. And then just flipping the switch in your root chakra, which is in the bottom of your spine. Let's just activate your prosperity, abundance, your confidence in the universe being a co-creator with you, your confidence that all things are working out for you. And that from this moment on, things are changing, things are shifting, and you are more. You are better. You're better than better. And that you are tuning into a higher frequency, a frequency of true worthiness, true power, and truth, your truth of who you are. And just take a couple of deep breaths and let yourself integrate that beautiful light-filled energy coming back into the room. Whew. Lately, I've been feeling this like real tingly energy right here. I think it has something to do with my third eye. I don't know, but that was wild. So you have been activated. Hopefully you weren't driving. Don't close your eyes if you're driving. All right, so that is my show for today. If you are interested in more information, I've got a couple different avenues. So I have Live Life Goldyn on Facebook, which is my public group on Facebook where I post inspirational stuff every day. My Instagram is Live Life Goldyn. And I have my M21 group. M21 Revolution is the Facebook group if you're interested in more meditation stuff. I have 2 books on Amazon, Quantum Speak and Quantum Speak for Parents. You can also get those on my website, and I do signed copies, which I do an inspirational, intuitive message for you on those, and that is livelifegolden.com. If you would like to be part of my program, you got to contact me. Like, it's June 21st. If it's close to that date when you're listening to this, livelifegolden@gmail. Just send me a quick email. I'll send you the application process and let's get it done. I'm super excited. And if this is past June 21st, I'm sure by then I have plenty of things for you to learn from, expand and grow. All right, I'm here for you people. I love you all, and I just love the show. It was so fun. Peace.